Welcome to Parents of Dragons. I'm your host, Allison Judge.
And I'm Lex Judge.
And this is a podcast where we talk about the most recent episode of Game of Thrones.
In this case, the final episode.
The final episode. Like we know it. Like we've been fans the whole time, but we haven't. We just watched the final season. Lex has watched the first 2 seasons, so he knows a little bit more, which is actually really helpful because I was so confused this entire season. So it was nice to have that little backup.
Yeah.
You know a little bit.
I do know a little bit, only from what I read on Reddit.
You drink and you know a little bit of things.
Yes, I drink and I know a little bit of things. I'm surprised you even know that quote.
Yes.
Anyway.
I don't.
All right, final episode. Can't believe we made it.
We made it. Well, there's only 6 episodes.
That's true, but they were long, man. They were long. You just yawned. That's great podcasting. Okay, go ahead. Let's get in the episode. I want to go to bed.
All right, fair enough. Okay, so we definitely start out with Tyrion walking around the ruins, just kind of surveying the mess and the massacre.
Seeing burnt children and yeah. I don't know who that was that he stumbled upon, but who do you think that was?
The child or the
No.
The one where he just stopped?
Yeah, he saw the little sigil thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure people out there knew who that was and that was significant, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who died around that area, but can't think of it.
It's hard to recall since everything was destroyed.
Yeah, everybody died, but yeah. So he's really obviously him and Jon and Sir Davos are all just kind of surveying the wreckage. Mm-hmm. It's not looking good. So Tyrion wants to go it alone at that point when they stumble upon this body. Mm-hmm. He kind of knows they come up onto King's Landing, or not King's Landing, but where Cersei, the castle, and he knows he's probably he wants to go see whether or not Cersei and Jaime escaped, and so that's where they leave him. And then
Jon walks upon Grey Worm planning on killing the leftover soldiers from Cersei's army.
Yeah, and they have a very tense moment because Jon wants to let them go.
Right.
He thinks, they're not a threat anymore. They're surrendered. They're our prisoners. And Grey Worm's like, no, Dany told me to kill them, so I'm going to kill them. So...
And so Davos is like, well, I guess we better go talk to the queen. And
yeah, that's what we call a war crime in this world. If this Westeros was in this world, killing prisoners who have surrendered is a war crime. Mm-hmm. So it's it's setting up that Daenerys has gone over. I mean, obviously she's already gone overboard, but it's really driving the nail home that she is acting unjustly.
Right. The next kind of scene is... Tyrion is walking down to check to see if Jaime and Cersei made it out. And, I mean, luckily for him, he had to move, 5 bricks and found both of them.
Yeah,
so.
What's the odds of that? Him just being able to stumble upon...
Well, Jaime's hand.
Yeah, he saw the gold hand and
just sticking out, yeah.
Yeah, metal hand. So, yeah, he finds his brother and sister and weeps for them. It's pretty sad.
Yeah. Both Jon and Arya kind of start walking up to meet the queen. Or where they expect the queen to come in.
Like walking through the king's or the queen's armies. Mm-hmm.
And then Dany flies in on Drogon and addresses her army.
She speaks in both Dothraki and Valyrian. Mm-hmm. Dothraki to the Dothrakis and Valyrian to the Unsullied, and just to tell them this is not the end, this is the beginning. We're gonna go and
liberate everybody.
Which means killing a lot of people. Yeah. So. I
liked how the Dothraki are just so into it and cheering and just super excited, and then the Unsullied are just very reserved but still intense. I kind of liked that difference between them. Yeah. I'm sure that's probably, I don't know.
Yeah. The Unsullied are slave. They come from slaves, and they're all eunuchs, and the Dothraki are wild people, and so.
Yeah. And then Tyrion walks up to Dany and
basically resigns.
Yeah.
Basically says, how could you? And
throws his little pin on the floor.
yeah, he is no longer hand of the queen. She calls him out for betraying her, and treason, treason, and so she has the guards lead him away. Mm-hmm.
I was surprised though that
she didn't
just kill him there, because the next scene is Jon talking to him.
If she was smart, if she was logical, she would have just
killed him,
cut off his head right then and there. Because he's one of the few people in this world who knows that Jon is the rightful. You'd think she would just kill him. You'd think she'd find some way to kill Jon, but
yeah.
Yep, that it was her folly. She let Tyrion live, and then Jon goes to visit Tyrion in prison, and not prison, it's just a room, but
Jon says love is the death of duty, and then Tyrion kind of turns it and says sometimes duty is the death of love.
Yeah, so what he's basically saying there is, you have a duty to the people, you have a duty to your siblings, you have to get rid of your love for Daenerys, get over your love for Daenerys because she's gone mad, and Yep.
Dany goes to sit on the Iron Throne.
Jon shows up.
And Jon is there. They have a little convo. I think at that point, Jon is just really like, please change your mind. Like, please.
He's trying to talk her out of it. Yeah. He loves her, and he does not want her to go down the path she's going, but everything she's saying is just... Yeah, he knows what he has to do. Mm-hmm. And so then he does it.
And he kills her.
Yeah. Did you see that coming?
No. I know we had talked about that, and you kind of said that you knew, you were like, I think Jon's going to go and try to kill her. And I was coming from the point of view of like, love is the death of duty, Yeah, I just thought for sure he wasn't going to.
I think it was a possibility, but I was going to be really kind of disappointed if that was it.
Yeah.
It just seemed like a really boring way out.
Right.
And it's like...
Well, he kills her, and then it's like, now what?
Yeah,
like that wasn't really thought through. Like, I feel like if he would have, I don't know, and obviously I'm not a writer or anything, but I feel like if he would have just like revealed that like he was actually the person that was supposed to take the throne, although she had already gained the loyalty of all of those people.
Obviously it didn't really matter what he said. The Unsullied and the Dothraki were going to follow her.
Yeah, that's true.
And so he kills her, and then...
She didn't even get to sit on the throne.
No, he's very distraught, but he knew it had to be done, and he stabs her in the heart, and then you hear her dragon. Drogon, he finds out. It was a pretty sad scene when he's trying to wake her up, and she wouldn't wake up, and he fire blasts the Iron Throne away, and I think that's pretty symbolic. That's like, Dany, although she died, she kind of did what she set out to do, which was break the wheel. She broke the wheel. Which is, they kind of honored her death by doing that. So yeah, I think that's kind of poetic, but
I agree.
Yep.
I agree. And then the next scene, it kind of skips forward a little bit, and we find...
Many weeks, it seems like.
Yeah.
And I was like, how's Jon going to explain this? How is he going to... How's the Unsullied going to do with him? Yeah. And they just kind of gloss over all of that, and kind of, with just a few lines of dialogue, kind of it...
Yeah, I mean, how did they find out that Dany's dead?
Yeah.
Like, Drogon takes her body, so...
Jon must have just told him he's too honorable to lie about it, so when they came in, he probably just said, I killed her, and they took him prisoner. Why they wouldn't just kill him on the spot?
Why suddenly does everybody have this mercy, and they're just taking people prisoner instead of just killing people?
I don't know. Well, I think all of those people are so bound to duty like, nobody wants to make the choice because they need someone to command them to do it. But since Dany's dead, nobody can command them to do it. So they're like, I don't know what to do. They don't want to start a war. They think if they kill Jon, then the North is just going to, rise crazy. Up. Yeah. So they just, I think that's one reason. But I agree that, like, I have no, like, if Grey Worm was there and Jon tells Grey Worm he killed Dany, you'd think Dany would have just killed him. But
or Grey Worm would have just, definitely. So we find that the Unsullied have kept Tyrion and Jon prisoner.
Yeah, and so Tyrion gets led up into this, like, it's basically, I don't know, I'm sure there's a name for it in the universe or in the story, but I'm not sure. But it's basically this area where a bunch of really important lords and ladies of Westeros are all sitting gathered. And Tyrion is brought before them, and Sansa asks where Jon is. So it's and Grey Worm says no, he's a prisoner too, and he will not be a part of this. And so it seems like it's something where it's like a council, basically.
Yeah,
they're trying to figure out what to do with the prisoners, what to do about the fact that they don't have a king or a queen right now.
Right. Yeah.
And
so Tyrion is the first to suggest that they just pick somebody. And then, Samwell initially suggests that
a democracy.
A democracy is what I wrote. Samwell suggested democracy.
Yeah, and everybody laughs in his face, which is pretty funny.
It is pretty funny.
Oh, but before that, the Starks, I don't know his name, but their uncle kind of stands up and starts giving his accolades, and Sansa just tells him, "Sit down."
Sit down.
It's really uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is.
Really embarrassing for him. He kind of stumbles as he steps back, and that was kind of heartbreaking.
Poor
but
baby.
I think everybody knew that he was never going to be a serious contender.
That guy, yeah.
So.
And at that point, when they're talking about choosing a king, I start going, Bran.
You called it for sure.
I did, for sure.
Yeah.
And so Tyrion suggests Bran.
Tyrion's the one who suggests Bran, which is weird because he's the prisoner there, and Grey Worm just says, "You're not
supposed to talk."
Speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was kind of weird, but anyway.
And so Tyrion suggests Bran. And Sansa's like, Bran doesn't want it, and also he can't have children. And Tyrion's like, well, why don't we make this a thing now where, y'all get together and choose a new king or queen?
Whenever the king dies, it's not the son or the daughter who goes into rule.
It's not familial. It's not the wheel.
It's almost, it's almost like a parliament as opposed to a democracy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sort of, but yeah.
Sansa says that she's just gonna go ahead and rule the North.
Everybody when Tyrion suggests Bran, surprisingly, everybody is cool with it. Everybody says aye, except for Sansa, who says you're gonna make a great king, but the North is not gonna bend the knee to any king. They want to be their own kingdom, and everybody kind of agrees to that. So,
so she's gonna go on up there. Bran names Tyrion as his hand. Which is funny.
Yep. Fitting.
Tyrion's like,
good.
What
Tyrion does not want it, but Bran talks him into it.
Yeah. And, coming from, I'm going to bring in the whole coming from a mother with a kid with special needs.
Yeah,
I was
again.
Like, fuck, yeah.
Yeah. Or just, you work with, adults with intellectual disabilities and disabilities of all sorts. So it's kind of cool to see that
it's great to see that representation.
In a wheelchair and his right hand,
Yeah.
Is a little person, so.
I always, I talked about that with a friend yesterday about just the increase of having, individuals with disabilities being in TV shows.
Yeah.
And just having that.
It's all about,
Yeah. Just, having somebody
portrayal.
that looks like me in a show is important, having that representation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then Bran then makes the decision that Jon has to go back to the Night's Watch, which is pretty ironic. That's the only way the Unsullied are going to be okay with the fact that, he killed their queen. So he has to go to the Night Watch. He says bye to all the siblings.
Yeah.
Arya says she's going to go to the east to Easteros. That's what you called it.
No, she's going, what's more west of Westeros? And I said Easteros.
And then you said Easteros. Which is funny. But
but she's going west of Westeros. So good luck to her.
Yep. Off Godspeed. To uncharted territory. And just the rest of the episode's kind of a lot of a montage of wrapping things up, which I'm kind of surprised they did in this show. Didn't seem like I thought it was going to be a little bit of an end, like a cliffhanger, but they kind of, there was a little bit of cliffhanger stuff, but it was mostly wrapping everything up.
Yeah, Brienne finishes up writing the story of Jamie's, basically.
Yeah, knighthood. She paints him very favorably.
She does. Died defending his queen, which is... I just wrote table gathering.
Yeah, there's a table gathering. That was a pretty funny scene. Yeah. Yeah, they just talk about the politics of what's going to come in Westeros. And
then Bran decides he's going to go find Drogon.
Yeah.
Doesn't have time for this bullshit, so I'm going to go find a dragon.
I guess so. I don't know why, but anyway.
And then my next point is Jon runs into Beardy.
Yes, they see Beardy. He goes up to the Night Watch. He sees him. And I think the implication, and then he sees Ghost too, which was very, a lot of fan service. People were really upset with how he left Ghost. So he sees him. I think the implication was that Jon was just going to continue north rather than stopping at the Night's Watch. He's going to go and live with the wildlings. So
good enough. Then kind of that there's all of that montage of Sansa
becoming
Arya,
queen.
Jon.
I'm surprised they didn't show Bran becoming king, but I guess that wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
And then
that's all I have. Jon sees Ghost.
And then fade to black, and that's it. And it's kind of a crazy, I don't know, it's kind of weird to think about it's all done.
Yeah.
I remember when the show got really popular 8 years ago, and it's pretty nuts to think that it's over. And
how long has it been since the last season?
The last season was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, so that's
even longer than 10 years ago.
That's a long time to wait.
Yeah.
For like the final season.
Yeah.
And then to only have it in like 6 episodes.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were upset with the length. I think the length of the season's really what caused a lot of the criticism of it.
Right.
It wasn't what happened in this episode, in this season, that like is bad. Mm-hmm. It's the fact that they didn't really give enough time for the character development to get there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Dany was fine 1 minute and then a Mad Queen the next.
Yep.
And it kind of didn't really make sense.
They needed a bigger trigger. They needed more time to realize it was just,
That is it.
I agree.
So, it is what it is. What'd you think about this episode and the series as a whole?
I liked this episode.
Yeah.
I really did. I feel like they did a good job of kind of closing everything up that they needed to close up,
I think it could have been worse.
Oh, yeah.
It definitely could have been worse. I don't know. I think I'd probably be more upset about it if I watched the rest of this episode.
Probably.
So I totally understand.
Sure.
If you're listening, you're like, what are you guys talking about? This was a shitty episode.
Yeah.
This whole season was garbage. I understand what you are going through, but the joke's on you because we didn't waste our time with it. So sucks to be you. But if you did watch all of it and you did like it, good for you. I'm glad that you got some closure here. It's nice that it's ended and you won't have to wonder what's going to happen. Like the people who only read the books who
are still waiting.
And will probably never get it because George R.R. Martin's going to keel over before he finishes
Lex
books.
is just positive.
It's going to happen. 100%. That's why I haven't started reading them. As soon as he puts them out.
If there's anything that comes out that says that he's about to finish his book, I mean, there needs to be protection because I'm pretty sure Lex is going to
I keep saying that that's what's going to happen.
Try to kill him just so that the last book
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, but just so I don't have to read that many pages, but
that's fair.
Anyway, well,
what's our death count? Who died?
Just one on this one.
Who?
It was Dany.
Oh God.
It was just Dany, I think.
Just Dany.
Yeah, I mean, one very important one.
Yeah.
No boobs, just Dany. I think some of the soldiers getting killed at the beginning, but we don't know them.
They're not. Yeah, they don't have names.
So overall, crazy, low numbers of important people dying and nudity, and it seemed very uncharacteristic for the rest of the show. Why would they think, something that made this show popular for 8 seasons or 7 seasons, and then take all of it away for the 8th? That was really
very
weird decision.
But also, I feel like this was a very aggressive season, so
they just had to cut a lot of that out. Yeah.
Nobody has time for that shit.
Yeah, nobody had time to have sex because they were all killing each other and they needed it to wrap it up. So I don't know. It's weird. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think. So, are you gonna go back and watch the rest of the show?
Maybe one day. I'm not in a rush to.
Yeah.
I'm not in a hurry.
Yeah. All right. Well.
I guess that's it.
Yeah. Thanks for watching this with me.
Oh, I thought you were talking to them.
No, I don't care about them. Thanks to you for watching. So sitting down and watching this nerdy shit with me. It was fun. It was fun to do this podcast, and
it was.
And thanks for listening. All those people who did listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the first podcast we're doing, and maybe we'll do more. We'll keep subscribed to the YouTube channel, and maybe we'll drop something else.
What are we gonna drop?
I have no plans at this time.
An Office podcast.
Yeah, no, not happening.
I quoted The Office last night, and nobody got the reference.
Oh, that's sad.
We were walking outside, and it was a full moon. And I go, man, the moon is damning tonight.
Oh.
I was like, where's that from? And
nobody knew. That's sad. Okay.
Phyllis from The Office.
Yeah.
Well, as usual, don't try to correct us. We don't care. It's over.
It's all over. It's done.
So,
nobody cares about what you know and what we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We have seen the last season, and we can make a final judgment.
Of all of it.
Of all of it, so.
Long live Bran. Long may he live.
Thanks for listening.
Sorry.